It's your girl Jazzy K with Super Tight TV. We want to thank everyone that's been watching. Hey, if you do us a favor and hit that subscribe button, also press the notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video.
You're not tuned into something super tight. Puffin' something sticky, nigga, I roll through the light. Need to hear something real just to get me through the night. I'm looking for them jackets cause I know they looking shy. Know I'ma get some game tuned in with super tight, yeah. I get it all up from Big Bobo, from the front seat, not no photos.
Already, baby, what it do? It's your big dog, Bobo Luciano. I want to thank everybody again for tuning in to Super Tight TV. We back, up your back, going smack, smack, smack. Just like that. I love that shit, man. I got my sexy ass, gorgeous, beautiful wife.
It's your girl Jazzy K.
In the building. Hey, baby, today we got a family member that slid through. I'm excited.
Already.
You know, I got a lot of, we call them country cousins. Cause we know we they country cousins, they our country cousins. We just country cousins. You know what I'm saying?
You sound country.
Yeah, we country.
Country cousins.
Yeah, I want to sound country. I'm embracing my countryness.
That's what you're doing.
You know what I'm saying? What you drinking anyway today?
Me?
Yeah.
Just some tea.
Okay.
Sips tea?
What are you drinking?
Margarita.
Oh, why do you have it in my teacup then?
Couldn't find another one.
There are cups back there for that.
My bad.
Okay.
But, you know, today,
in
you know,
cup.
I'm in my own
See what I'm
zone.
talking about?
Yes.
I'm in my own zone. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Obviously.
I have a passion, a lot of people in Texas do, for people from Louisiana. Would you agree, baby?
Mm-hmm.
Those are really our cousins.
Absolutely.
You know, no doubt. This brother is one of those. I've been knowing him for over 20 years.
Yes, sir.
He's like family. You know what I'm talking about? I got Uncle Pauly in the house. Yeah. How you like that?
Yes, sir. I
You
love
like them apples.
Man. Oh, that's it. How you love that?
Man, I love that.
Yeah. Where you been, Uncle Pauly?
Man, we've been out here grinding, Bo. How y'all been, man?
New era doing, man. We doing good.
Absolutely.
You look like New Era.
Man, I am, and it is a new era, man.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful era, you did?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, you know, I know you from the boot,
Absolutely.
but you have been adopted by Dallas.
Absolutely. I
You know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
that.
I know you
too.
got that fruit of lee in you.
Yes, sir.
Fleur de lis. Just want to make sure you're saying it right, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, whatever.
That's right.
I got a fruit of lee. I'm from the country like a mom.
Hey,
baby.
Hey.
Sorry, bro.
How you supposed to say it, baby?
Fleur de lis.
Yes.
Fleur de lis.
Mm-mm.
Is that
You still
French?
said it
See,
wrong.
that's what the better half does, man.
talking
They
about?
keep us on point.
Try
Yeah.
to anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, I know what's in you.
Yes, sir.
But you know, for positive energy steak, I need you to
Steak.
please. Yes, I love a good
Steak?
steak. Yeah, say what steak? What shall I say? Since you correct me, everybody's correcting me. What,
I mean,
what
maybe
is
you
this?
need to
Is this
put- maybe
English
you need
guy?
to put
Is
your
this it?
teacup
I mean,
aside.
can we
You might
get through the
need to put
interview?
that margarita.
Can we get to the interview?
You might need to put
Can
your
we get through the
teacup
interview?
aside. I'm
Can
just
we
saying.
get through to the interview?
Yeah, we can. If
Without
you say the
so
words
many
right.
corrections.
If you say the words
I didn't know I
right.
was still in school.
I mean, this is
I
supposed
didn't
to
know
be a
this was reading this
professional
from-
platform.
No,
and you're up here saying things
This
like
is our platform. We can do it like we want to do it.
you're up here saying things
We
like
can do it
steak.
like we want to do it.
Back to Uncle Pauly. We want you to
Thank
you.
rub
Uncle
this blue star for good
Yeah.
luck's sake.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Amen.
I'm not gonna sound like a white boy when I talk.
Yes, indeed.
Why does it have to be a white boy? Why can't it just be proper
I'm just telling you what people say.
English?
Mm.
Just
She's on there sounding like a white girl again.
wow.
That's what they say.
Tomato. Okay.
But anyway, Uncle Pauly, thank you for coming, bro.
No problem at all. Thank
We
you for
sure
having me, bro.
appreciate you for gracing us with your presence.
Nah, big brother, I'm glad to be here, man. For real, for real.
So we're gonna go down through there. You know, a lot of people want to meet you. A lot of people know you already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We want our family members to get a little bit better acquainted with you.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna let the wifey get it running and gunning. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
Already, baby.
All right. So Uncle Pauly,
Yes, ma'am.
we already know you from the boot, but
Yes, ma'am.
where exactly?
I'm
Where
from
you
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
BR?
Southside Baton Rouge, to
Oh,
be exact.
oh.
Indeed.
Do that there.
Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Mm.
ma'am.
That was
So, what was it like growing up in Louisiana?
Man, it was a little different. You know what I mean? We come up out of extreme poverty situations. You know what I mean? And was fortunate enough, you know what I mean, to find a way out of there. You know what I mean? And Dallas was the gateway for getting up out of that place, man. So, great family, great friends, great opportunity, and it was actually what gave us our start. But as you know, man, we got a whole lot of killing that take place in the city.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? So,
Baton Rouge is different.
Yeah, it's a lot different. You know what I mean? Most so hustlers and killers. You know what I mean? Ain't no players or pimps.
Okay.
Yeah.
That don't necessarily exist. I didn't meet a pimp till I moved to Texas.
Well,
So when you say hustlers, drug of choice for most hustlers in Baton Rouge is what? Back in your era.
Oh, they was smoking green. That was it. You know
Green?
what I mean? Yeah.
Y'all didn't have nobody selling crack?
When you say drug of choice, you talking about utilizing
No, I said for the hustlers. For the hustlers. What did the hustlers do?
Yeah, that was always crack coming up when we in our time. I mean, we all came up in the 80s, so, you know what I mean? So it was the same worldwide. Freeway Rick and them had it bumping everywhere, you dig?
Yeah.
So it was the same thing.
Already.
yeah, back when the U.S. let them narcotics up into the country.
Come on.
And let them infiltrate the hood.
Come on now.
But that's a whole nother story.
But it is a story, man, because again, we're looking at some of the results of that today.
Yeah,
You
we
dig
are.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We're looking at the results of
Still.
what it was like to lose fathers during that time to the drug epidemic, and also what it looked like to lose your family members that were actually on drugs
Yes.
during that time. So when you see the generations today and we're saying, well, we don't have any guidance, then we lost a lot of our family, a lot of our OGs, a lot of our fathers, a lot of our brothers to some crazy drug laws.
Stupid.
Absolutely.
I think it was all an organized plan. We know it.
We know it's systematic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was all systematic.
So at what point did you migrate to Dallas?
I came out to Dallas in about 2004, to be honest with you. Yeah, so we came out. We had a choice at the time. We were looking at D.C., Dallas, or Atlanta.
Wait a minute, stop it. So you're telling me, of course, music and business was one of the biggest parts to make that decision, right?
Absolutely, it was.
And you saying it was between Dallas, D.C., and Atlanta?
Absolutely.
Why D.C.? I never heard that one.
Well, we had already had a double platinum album.
And who is we? Now let the people know.
Well, I managed the concentration camp
Already?
which was a group out of Baton Rouge, C-Loc, Young Bleed, Max Minnelli, Jay Vaughn, Boo Rossini, and Boosie was actually the youngest of the camp, and he was the youngest when we were actually kind of transitioning into the Dallas market. He was transitioning into the camp. And so it was kind of, we were moving and he was coming in as the youngest.
Already.
Yeah.
And so back in those days, that's mid 90s
Absolutely.
to late 90s, the biggest hit, of course, Wifey just sung us a part of that hook.
Absolutely.
That how you do that there.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the importance of that song for hip hop.
Oh man, it was not just for hip hop, but for the lives and the families of all of us involved.
That too.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Man, we actually Bleed wrote that song. A lot of people thought that was a masterpiece song, but Young Bleed actually wrote that song and produced in a lot of ways because he had the concept in mind for that song of what he wanted that particular song to be. And Happy Perez was also producing at the time, so they kind of co-produced How You Do That there, and Bleed actually wrote the lyrics. I remember we all had, Loc was putting out a concentration camp compilation, and every artist was responsible for submitting a song. We had guys out of New Orleans, everybody that was local out of Baton Rouge that was submitting songs, and I remember Loc went out of town. He was in Florida, and we actually went out and we bought Bleed, and I went to the store, and he had this idea. He needed the CD, the Aretha Franklin, I think it was, and we bought that CD so we can sample that rock. You know what I mean? I don't know if you hear that in it, but
Steady.
Exactly. So, we came back and we actually produced that record in an apartment that we had. I don't even think we had furniture in that apartment. It was just music. The keyboards, we had just got the little spot, and he ended up coming in. Him and Happy got together, man, and put that thing together. And fortunate enough, once we released it, it was crazy in the neighborhood. Like it was something fresh, and the hood actually supported it and carried it like it was carried. And we had already been doing business with P. We had already did features on our Loc project, the C-Loc whatever project. We had already done. We had been in the Ice Cream Man video. We went to the Bout It video shoot. So we had relationships already with P. And once we actually released that song, I remember P called me actually and asked if we would be interested in a deal with Pro-Art. And I was like, hell yeah.
Okay.
Six figures.
Oh, man, it was ridiculous. We 19 out the hood, man. You know what I mean? A lot of us had never left the hood, you know what I mean? So that call 2 weeks later, man, we in the middle of Malibu, you know what I mean? In the ocean out there shooting that video.
Ghetto boys.
Shooting that video, had big Debo, you know what I mean? Met him for the first time, man. So it was crazy.
Rest his soul.
That's what's up.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So that song actually was, I don't know if you remember, but the Bout It was P first hit.
Yes.
But by the time he released the Bout It movie, Bout It had already run its course. So how you do that there was actually the lead single. The lead single at that time.
Let me ask you this, because I'm remembering that time.
Yeah.
I just went back in time.
Yeah.
How many of y'all went to California?
Oh man, it was when you talking about the first time?
How many of y'all was down there for that video shoot? Because I'm gonna draw this picture for.
It was 6 of us that went for that video shoot.
So we talking about 6 guys.
Yeah.
From the South.
Correct.
From the country.
Correct.
From the inner city.
Yes, sir.
And y'all in California on the yacht.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What was that feeling for? I mean, y'all on the yacht.
Man, it was crazy. It was surreal, to be honest with you. I always looked at our lives, man, and was so thankful.
Yes.
Even past the music. Yeah. You know what I mean? Once we started to travel, I saw that it was amazing that God saw fit.
Even back then, Pauly.
Man,
Pauly, you too young to be thinking like that. You too young to be thinking like that back then.
Go back and look at our album.
Yes.
Go back and look at Bleed album. Bleed is toting the Bible to the mansion in the sky.
That's right.
On that balls in my word.
That's right.
Yeah.
And our second album, On My Own, that Bible is open on the table with a light shining on it, and he's looking out of the window.
Yeah.
So it was no question about if we had that understanding at that time. You dig what I'm saying?
Beautiful. That's
beautiful. We knew we had a responsibility. Bleed actually was one of the first ones in our camp. Bleed used to hand out these prayers. He printed out 100 of them. He used to pass them out to each of us, you know what I mean? So Bleed kind of started that whole energy about that, man. And he actually introduced me to God for the first time.
Bleed's a different guy.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Anytime.
What?
Well, I want y'all to go back and look at the Young Bleed interview that we had here on Super Tight TV. He mentioned as a youngster that music would be playing in his head. And Super Tight TV, our motto is what Texas connects.
Right.
And so we want to be a bridge. We want to be educational.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you said something earlier that you and Young Bleed went to the store to buy the record. That was his idea because it was playing in his head.
Absolutely it was.
So, and I heard you also say that's considered co-producership, because it is.
It is.
Today, in today's time, because we're educated now,
absolutely,
that's really considered a co-producership.
Correct.
So what I want the youngsters to know, if you're walking into a production situation and you got your own samples, you got your own melodies and everything like that, and you're contributing to, and you just don't know how to push those buttons, you are really co-producing that track.
Correct. You got an option even at that point to either get someone to play it and do it as a work for hire.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Or you have an opportunity to co-produce with someone. So it's really about what type of ownership you want to have at that time. So if you have the idea and concept, then I can hire a producer
and get all 100% of it
and do a work for hire, and I own 100% of what I'm doing.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Otherwise,
kind of like Puffy do.
Otherwise, yeah. So otherwise, if we collaborate in that sense, then of course we are co-producing. So even at that time, we didn't have that clear understanding. We were just making music out the hood, man.
Yes.
We were just happy that we had something to record on.
Yes, I bet.
You know what I mean? And being able to record our ideas, man. So
we call that learning on the fly.
You had to learn fast because
Yes.
we went from the hood to #1 record in the country at that time.
Felt like overnight, didn't it?
Oh man, it really was.
I know. I mean, because I can remember the wave.
Yeah, it really was.
First hearing that song, I know you do too, and it was infectious. It was one of them songs that you was like, damn.
Yeah.
Just like you say, the hood supported it.
Yeah,
It was one of them songs that was undeniable.
absolutely.
Doo-doo, yeah. How that song come on, bro? It just automatic, bro.
Yeah.
And then,
How'd it come on?
come on, baby.
It's like who that say they want to do
I'm
that?
talking about the music.
I was talking about the music.
Yeah,
How did
okay.
it come on?
Don't worry about that. We're not gonna repeat that. You can't recreate magic.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Once I've done it, it's gone.
on.
Yeah, it's gone.
We've
Yeah.
never been able to recreate it either, bro. But once the magic was there,
You know, you say that's cold right there. Do it again.
But you see, that was a part of the magic, because at that time we were really family. Hap was living in the studio. Loc lived at the studio, so it was just it was home for a lot of us that just didn't. You know, we had a lot of free time on our hands as youngsters. You know what I mean? So it was always something to do at the studio. We was always barbecuing. So you'll hear somebody do a verse and somebody coming right behind. Just, let me put something in. At that time, anybody that was around at that time, we wasn't holding up. You know what I mean? Because it was all hood and all family.
Yeah.
Now, managing a group that rose to fame so quickly, what learning lessons did you get along the way
Man,
that you can share?
On the fly.
learning lessons. We learned that, a lot of times, man, we didn't have no knowledge of the business, and we actually fumbled the ball. We actually had the ball right after No Limit. We had it before Cash Money, and not understanding how the business works, not understanding how money works. We allowed the money to actually come between our group and our organization, and Cash Money came up and had their thing together, and they dropped that The Block Is Hot at the same time that we kind of going through our changes, and the block was hot for them, man, and they 400 million, 500 million strong, you know what I mean, after that. So again, we learned the lesson of what being together and understanding what your rights are, what the music business is, what you're entitled to, what you're not entitled to. And also learn that, sometimes you got to put differences aside for the sake of business.
That's true.
You know what I mean? When we look at these Euros, we understand that they don't take business personally. And I think that a lot of us coming out of our communities, we take everything so personal.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And that is so true.
Yeah, and
That's all part of the system, though.
it is.
That's all part of the system.
It is. We got to unlearn. I mean,
Yes.
you have to go through it to know that you've been programmed in certain ways.
Well, you say we have to unlearn. It's more of breaking the cycle. It takes a parent to say, it's enough is enough, and I'm going to teach my kids differently.
Absolutely.
That's the only way to unlearn it right there. You can't, we are gone too far. We can, I hate to use this term, wake up and be like, oh man, everything we thought about in the past has been straight BS.
But that's unlearning, though.
Yes, I understand that.
That's
It's never too
deprogramming.
late.
But we have to teach that to our kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
We have to change the generation.
Well, I think a lot of the times, man, we are actually we learn by default. a lot of times we learn by
Trial
what
and
we
error.
don't. Well, yeah, trial and error and what we don't have. So if you didn't have a father, a lot of us didn't have fathers. So we all wanted to be better fathers.
That's exactly what
to
happened.
be present. You understand what I'm saying? So the lack of made us want to step up. And,
Resilience.
and I look at a lot of the propaganda that's on television. Black men does this. Man, black fathers love their kids.
Exactly, especially in this era.
Man,
I mean, for the last 20, 30 years, we have pretty much learned that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Boosie.
Okay.
Boosie Badass. That's always a great subject.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I've never been formally introduced to Mr. Boosie. I think I met him one time in passing with Steve B-Lo.
Okay.
How was that situation? Talk about him as a youngster, because I can remember the excitement in our clique around Boosie,
Right.
and just talk to him.
Well,
Talk to
even
the
before
family.
the music, I knew Boosie as a kid. We grew up. I grew up. I lived across the tracks for quite some time. So that cross the track community was a very close knit community. Boosie's family used to do the givens over there. They used to do a little softball game every Sunday.
Okay.
In the neighborhood, man, and you know what I mean. We all would, the whole community cross there would be in the park on Sundays playing softball, just kind of hanging out. And I just remember Boosie being very young. I used to run with his older cousin Bronson.
Okay.
And I was actually good friends with Dunk. Dunk now a minister, man, changed his life, and is an amazing pastor out there in Atlanta doing amazing things, doing amazing work now. You know
Who
what
is
I mean?
Dunk to Boosie?
That's his cousin. You didn't
Okay.
saw Dunk quite a bit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But that was my man's, and still is my man to this day.
Is
You know
that
what I mean?
is that Hatch family pretty big?
It is, man. They had one of the bigger families cross the track.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, it was and I think his grandmother and grandfather were ministers, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
and they lived right next door to Miss Moolah. Miss Moolah used to sell fried pigtails and turkey wings, some of the best you go ever have.
That's that country shit.
Yeah. So we used to always end up right next door to his grandmother's house, just kind of messing with Miss Moolah and kind of in between. But that neighborhood, growing up, it was projects and there's houses. But being across the track, it was like everything was the project.
Yeah.
We were all in this confined area.
Yeah.
And you had friends, multiple friends around there. That we grew up, man, you had 50 partners to ride bikes with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Christmas time, you got 10 guys coming out with new radios at the same time, or Walkmans, whatever was in style. You had 10, 12, 15 other partners coming out with the same thing, and y'all lining up, trying to see who's better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I remember, I don't want to call him Chad. I remember when Pimp C
right.
first was introduced to Boosie.
Right.
And then, he would, in between Atlanta and come back to Dallas,
Right.
Louisiana, Atlanta, Dallas. Well, excuse me,
Right.
Louisiana, Atlanta, Texas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he would, come back to Dallas sometimes in those visits. And he would give me little cassettes. And Boosie sounded so young.
He was 16. That one of the homies out the hood, Frog.
Yes.
Frog was one of the brothers that had just got out of, I think Frog had just got out of jail, if I'm not mistaken, even at that time. And Frog got out, went back to college, and Frog was doing his thing, and Frog was over across the track as well. So Frog is actually the one that brought Boosie over to Loc to like check him out, man. You really need to check him out. And he was 16 going to McKinley at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was a youngster,
He had something special.
He did.
I can remember Steve B-Lo, because Chad gave me a tape. I
Right.
listened to it, but I didn't jam the tape.
Right.
I said, oh yeah, he jamming.
Right.
Because once Webby came out, woo, I said, okay, Webby is this, that, and the other.
Right.
But he told me, hey, listen to wait till you hear this Boosie cat.
Man, nah.
And I said to myself,
I gotta even with that, man, you know what I mean? Like Boosie was hot as fish grease, even with the Webby joint. You know what
Yes.
I mean? What happened was C-Loc went
Yes.
to prison. But we had like I say, we come up off the double platinum Bout It soundtrack, Bleed album that went gold, and now you got Boosie as the youngest of the camp. You dig? And you got him as the youngest of the camp, so he definitely had a platform coming up. You know, I lost my train of thought.
Had y'all dropped any projects on Boosie?
Before the youngest of the camp? No.
No. How many projects did C-Loc drop on Boosie?
He dropped the youngest of the camp, and I think he dropped maybe one other project before he went to prison. I don't remember the name of it, but again, that was just that, man. Man, I lost my train of thought. Honestly. Yeah.
So let's talk about the trip to Dallas. We're in Dallas now.
All
right.
Right.
How they do that there has done glorious things for you, your family, Bleed. Y'all here and y'all making moves. Y'all hooked up with Money Waters, Old Man.
We met them boys in Mississippi before we came to Dallas.
No. Oh, tell that story. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, we were, still traveling, doing shows, and we ended up in Greenville, Mississippi, for an event, and we ended up, Money Waters was on that show.
Yes.
Of course, Pookie from out there in Greenville.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was all a connection there. And we had an opportunity to meet them brothers, and we ended up connecting. And when we ended up transitioning to Dallas, of course, it was natural that we rocked. And
reached out to the people you already met.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I ended up managing Money for maybe about 4 or 5 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What tapes were Swallowhagen?
We did Off the Porch.
You did?
During that time, he had dropped Off the Porch.
Yes.
And then we did The Swallogan, which is Nigga Laws.
Nigga Laws backwards.
You know what I mean? Yeah. We did that project. So it was great. Like, it was a great introduction to Dallas.
Yes.
Because Money was more of a soul artist. So it kind of gave me an opportunity to get out of the gangster music
out
scene.
Of that realm.
And actually, that's when the Gypsy Tea Room, you know what I mean? Final Fridays and all of those things were taking place at the time. And it was just a different vibe. And it was enlightening for me because we come up out of this hardcore.
So now you know both. Now you know both sides of it.
Absolutely.
That's good.
So Dallas kind of introduced me more to a conscious. Just my introduction through Money Waters to Dallas.
Yeah.
Because of the vibe he was on, it introduced me to a more conscious community.
Yeah.
And that was refreshing coming. I needed that actually. Coming up out of that war zone, we came up out of Louisiana.
And you did say something about Money Waters. You said he's more of a soul artist. And for those of y'all who don't know, y'all need to go check out Money Waters. He is very underrated.
Absolutely. Money's a super dope artist, man.
He's a superstar. He's just here in Dallas in this.
You talking about can put on a show?
Crab Barrel. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had many nights, man. We did a lot. You know what I mean? We did a lot. Me, Pookie, Money Waters, Old Man, you know what I mean? Bleed.
Rest his soul.
Yeah.
Old man.
So, yeah.
That old man could put on a show.
Oh, them boys were super duper talented.
Golly.
Super duper.
Shout out to Bonafide.
Yeah. Redbone.
Yeah, super talented brother.
Yeah.
I mean, golly, that man is talented, bro.
That was all during the Kundalini days,
man.
Who
you bringing it?
Yeah, man. See, that was one of the reasons I moved to Dallas, to be honest with you. When I looked at D.C., Atlanta, of course, D.C. was a stretch for a Southern boy for me.
For real.
You know what I mean?
That's why I said, why D.C.?
It was conscious and black. DC.
Oh yeah, it's
DC,
dark country.
DC was conscious.
DC stand for dark country.
Yeah,
that's Richard Pryor said that.
Yeah,
I didn't make that up.
Yeah, it was conscious and black. Atlanta was conscious and black.
Yes.
Dallas was actually conscious and black.
Yeah.
Over Louisiana, G.
Stop that bullshit.
Over Louisiana.
We have facets of the city.
Well,
that
I just told you how I was
like
I told you how I was introduced though. Like I
through
said,
that.
I can't.
Yeah,
if
you'd have been somebody else, you did.
It's still
you
like
did.
that in Dallas.
I say a part of Dallas.
Gotta
Yeah.
know that everybody different genre hang out.
Yeah.
I think if
he'd
he'd have missed
pockets.
I think if he'd have missed somebody else, like he said, and came to Dallas, he probably wouldn't have
But but again,
You met the right person.
Even when we came to Dallas, like I said, one of the reasons I moved is, again, I looked at Atlanta and said, Atlanta had already had stars out there, and I didn't want to go out there and be a part of nobody else's bandwagon.
You don't want to be a little fish
in
a big pond. You need to be the big fish.
Well,
Right.
I looked at Dallas, and at the time, that time they hadn't had a face.
That's right.
In Dallas, you know what I mean? So we made the decision we wanted to come up and grind with the city, you know what I mean? And be a part of that, you know what I mean? And we came out, like I say, we grind with the Kundalinis, the Philly stations, the JB and Turo, them boys was out here at the time doing great things. Who else? Big them down there, man. Who else, man? Of course, QP them.
Yeah.
Spliff.
All
man, all them boys, man. We got a chance to work with all them boys, man. Out north, Pookie, Lucci, who else, man? There was a ton of the brothers that we had an opportunity to work with and just kind of grind with. We had already had success, but we came out here and worked from the ground up, it was still the grind, if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So we've got all this knowledge now.
Yeah.
You've got hit songs under your belt.
Yeah.
You've got management under your belt.
Yeah.
Now we transferred into new era.
Okay, hold on. Let me say this. And I didn't even say this, Bo. When I came to Dallas, we had already had How You Do That there, but we had just recorded I Smoke, I Drink.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, like I said, the concentration camp had kind of split. Bleed was moving out. Yep. Boosie was coming in. And they had never did a song together because we were just kind of in transition at the time. So when we did I Smoke, I Drink, Magic brought the idea and the concept, and we went in the studio and recorded it. Actually, Soulja Slim was supposed to be on the third verse. Slim got killed the week.
Oh, that's wild.
Slim got killed the week we were going to do that feature, and it was going to be Bleed, Magic, and Soulja Slim. And when Slim got killed, he ended up putting Boosie on the record, which was the first record Bleed and Boosie had did together.
Oh, that's
you understand what I'm saying? Yes. So that record started that record got leaked in the streets, and we walking and hearing niggas playing it.
Come on, man.
You understand? Like cars.
Body head bustle, nigga.
No. Ain't no body head bustle. Southside gangsters, nigga. Yeah.
Before body head bustle.
Yeah. I'm finna get to that. That's
okay. Come on.
So
educate a brother.
So as we're promoting that record, Magic, of course, is from New Orleans, and we started doing promo shows in like Biloxi, Gulfport. And that's going out towards Pensacola. So we were working that coast with that particular record, and it was buzzing out in that area. But for whatever reason, when they started announcing the record, they kept saying Boosie and Magic. They wouldn't say Bleed for whatever reason. I don't know what was going on with that, even when they introduced it at the radio station. So while they were working Gulfport, Biloxi, going up the coast of going up to Pensacola, I came to Dallas.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? I did it I pressed up 1,000 CDs just like it was. Do It Big, Young Bleed, Boosie, Magic. Put it out here. And
whose song was it?
It was actually, like I say, Magic actually wrote the song.
Okay, that's right.
I mean, came with the concept. Him and Bleed went in and wrote the song. Then we added Boosie to the record as a feature instead of Soulja Slim. You dig? And like I say, doing that, Magic ran off and tried to sell the song to Roy Jones, but we never gave the authorization. So when I moved to Dallas, I think I moved to Dallas at that time with $150 in my pocket, G, straight up. And it was a faith move. And they tried to sell that record, and I wouldn't budge.
Let me ask you a question. Where's C-Loc doing this time?
C-Loc was still doing his thing. He
wasn't locked up at this time.
Oh, let me think. Doing I Smoke, I Drink. I can't even remember because the camp had split by that time. And everyone was kind of doing their own thing. Yeah.
Shout out to Boo, y'all seen him, man.
Yeah. Boo. What sound, Boo? You know what I mean? Yeah. Boo just dropped the project, man. Chances make champions. You know
really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he been doing his thing. He actually
I used to fuck with Boo. I seen him.
yeah, Boo just built what 40 condos loft out there in Jackson called Trios.
That's grown man shit.
Yeah. So Boo been doing this thing. Boo been doing this thing for a long
Congratulations,
time.
bro.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's how we ended up out here in Dallas. I ended up in Dallas with Do It Big.
Do It Big.
Yeah, and that was the record. And by the time we did it, they were playing the original version. Then Magic went and tried to sell a song and did a remix with Roy Jones and the Youngbloods.
Yes.
Out there. So if you remember, they had two versions playing.
It sure
97.9 was playing one, 104 was playing the other.
Yeah.
But by that time, we had already boomed with the original out here in Dallas from the
From the legwork.
man, you know, I had to jump
The relationships in the legwork.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So that set us off. And again, when we were looking at records in Dallas or the market to choose, SoundScan used to show you where you selling records. And DC, Atlanta, and Dallas were always top markets, whether we dropped independent, whether we dropped major.
I see why you thought that.
Yeah. So it was easy as far as a roadmap on where we going.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember being out here. I had $15,000 left in my promo budget, and with Cat Daddy's from Baton Rouge at 104.
Yeah.
We were at his condo on one of the rooftops, and I had $15,000 to get out here and promote, put flyers out, do all that. Now, I was looking at how big this city was, and I said, man, I can put out all the flyers and all the promo I want out here, but when I go home, the niggas that live here go keep it going. Mine go be over with.
Yes.
So the only way to really work Dallas is to live in Dallas. You ain't gonna be able to just pass through Dallas and work Dallas.
It's got to be a continuous thing.
You gonna have to
To break a
work.
record, that was very smart.
Yeah, you gonna
smart.
have to live here. So that is one of the things that helped us make that decision. I moved out, then I brought Bleed out shortly thereafter. You know what I mean?
Smart move.
up. Yeah.
Smart move. Innovative move.
Yes, sir.
So let's get in a new era.
Oh man, you know.
I want to get into the new era. What we doing now?
Hey man, well, New Era came about probably I want to say about 2007.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I started booking talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I booked Keisha Cole. I ain't gonna lie. I made $10,000 booking Keisha Cole. Well, we ended up doing Trey Songz actually.
Who's the first one? First show ever?
For booking,
Yes.
Trey Songz. It was supposed to be Keisha Cole, but we couldn't get the number squared away on Keisha, so we ended up booking Trey Songz.
In what city?
North Carolina.
Okay. Why North Carolina?
We had a buyer, one of my homegirls, Seville Draper, I think at the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She had a client that had budgets that wanted to do events, and we were her connection to the industry.
Got you.
And she utilized us, man. One of our homegirls, it was amazing because, you never expect, just the grind. And she came with just this amazing opportunity to do it. Had some doctors and investors that wanted to do some work, and we wanted to make sure we were able to get them what they needed. So our commission at the time, like I say, I made $10,000 just making phone calls.
Just connection.
I say, nigga, I've been on the wrong side of the business.
Okay.
It changed my world because that means we ain't got to go out here and start begging the DJs to play the record and stand in the clubs all night, man. It was more so about leveraging relationships. And that's when, again, like I said, during that time, Bleed and I, partners since we were 9 years old. His grandmother lived like right behind my mother's house. So we played Little League baseball, all that stuff together. But during that time, we were actually just seeing things different, professionally, not personally. We never had any personal issues, but professionally, we were doing things different. And that's when we actually ended our contract around 2007.
Okay.
And so as I was looking at what's going to take place next and saying, dang, I done had artists all this time and what is next and what am I going to do? And again, New Era came from it symbolizing a new era in my life, even at that moment.
What year was that, Pauly?
I was here in Dallas.
No, you say 2007 Bleed situation. Now, when did the new era start?
2007, 2008.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it
Right
happened
into it.
like right after the new era came because I'm like, all right, I just ended a relationship. And if anybody been in management as long as we have, man, those are really tight relationships. Those are like marriages, almost brotherhoods, and connected in ways that you couldn't even imagine. So that wasn't an easy process going through that. So in finding my gifts and talents in that time, it took some soul searching for me. You know what I mean? So I had to look at, okay, now that I'm not managing Bleed and I'm not managing artists personally. I never managed personally again. I always did business management past that point. I had to find myself in a new era, symbolized my new era and my new chapter in my life. And I was able to start doing that through booking, booking talent, and it was my booking and management firm at that time.
Run down some of the list of people that you've had the pleasure of booking through the new era.
Man, whether we were booking or throwing the events, I done did the Little Babies. I was the first one to bring Future to Dallas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The boy Money, My Turn, My Way, booked him from me. Brought him out, him and Magic, DJ Magic. Shout out DJ Magic and Money. You know what I mean? They were the guys that we brought Future out here first. We brought August Alsina out here first. I done did the Little Babies, the Moneybag Yos, the Chris Browns, anybody that you name. Cedric the Entertainer, we done did him in Jamaica. We done did Tank, anybody that's anybody, man. The Trey Songz, it's been many, many years, man. Boosie, Bleed, Loc.
Yeah, since 2007, I bet it's been everybody. Since you said that, I'm like,
Yeah, it's too many. It's too many to name. But that it just kind of opened up because through the years, your Rolodex kind of line up when, especially having some of the success.
I guess the reason I wanted you to run through a few of them, is not for us, it's for them, so they can see that new era is not just booking underground artists. You are
a booking major.
A full-fledged booking agent.
We used all the talent, either for Beamers, Park Avenue. Like I said, even when it was Beamers, when it was Park Avenue, whatever it was, we had an opportunity. Shout out CJ, them over there. CJ is a wonderful individual, wonderful manager. She was running Beamers as well as Park Avenue. My homeboy D Will introduced me. Shout out D Will too. You know what I mean? Like Dallas been super dope, man. I met some super dope brothers. Met yourself out here. You know what I mean? Like so, all of those relationships have been very positive, and all of them still my partner. I don't have not one relationship that I had in Dallas that I don't have today.
That's so good to hear that.
That's real. That's real, man.
Absolutely.
So what's next for New Era?
Oh, man, hey, man, we still out here in the game, man. We still diversifying. I'm automating all my processes, you know what I mean, so that we can offer management services for individuals that don't necessarily have management. You know what I mean? That way they have the tools they need to kind of move forward, whether it be distribution, whether it be label services, whether it be management, contract negotiations, whatever that may be. We just kind of wanted to automate that process.
Can I give you another branch?
Please.
Because, you hear about this term all the time.
Okay.
And you do it anyway.
Okay.
Might as well get paid for it, right? Right. Consulting.
But that is the,
instead, people not signing that contract to be a manager, but I'm going to connect these dots for you and tell you what to do, but it's going to come with a fee.
There you go.
Oh, but let me show you.
You already done thought of it.
I'm going to show it to you right now.
Yeah, the game is to be sold now. What?
Okay. Not told.
Yeah, man.
These are some of the joints, man. So again, when we talk about the automation,
it closed up on me.
My bad. No, it's all good. I don't know what you just did here, Bo.
I know.
All right, so
my fingers.
So when you look at that consultation is one of the first things that we kind of talk about in those services that we offer. Again, just being able to share some of that information with
y'all hiring?
Yeah, definitely.
So how do people?
Job.
So how do people get in touch with y'all?
They can go to newera.booking.com. They can go to New Era Booking on Instagram. They can go to New Era Booking on Facebook. Any of those places they can go, man, and get in contact with us. It's not difficult at all. You know what I mean?
Y'all heard it. NewEraBooking.com.
Yes, sir.
Anything that you want the family to know?
Man, the family. Let me think, man.
Think about it, man. We got over 5 almost. I mean, we rolling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And somebody might need a jewel thrown their way or something that you might.
I mean, to be honest with you, Bo, even past those consulting services, one of the things I looked at was in the entertainment business, a lot of the guys that came to me, you know, may not have been the dopest artists.
Yeah.
And may not succeed at this because there's a lot of dudes rapping that's not gonna make it straight up and down.
Come on.
But the thing that I found was I would say, nah, I don't know about the music, and I would end up turning them away. And I kind of got convicted about that and say, well, you need to find a way to be able to help these brothers because when you turn them away, they go down the street and get robbed.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So I started creating services. Whether we started building the LLCs, the EIN, the NAV accounts, the Dun and Bradstreets, setting up business so that individuals, even if you wasn't successful at your career, we had a successful business that you can draw a line of credit from and do other things with, even if your music career didn't necessarily work out. You understand what I'm saying?
That's dope. That's dope.
So legitimately, you finding creative ways, because again, the music industry, you got guys that got $20,000-$30,000, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is still no major budget for entertainment, but for a startup business,
Right.
that's a major budget if you do the right things in business and you can make the business produce finances for you. You can establish credit with that money so that you can grow that. So that was one of the areas that I went into so that I could add value to the brothers as opposed to just taking their money saying, you know, knowing in my heart, like, yeah, man, the music ain't finna do nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
So
saying?
that's a part of breaking the cycle.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Because when you could turn negative into a positive,
Absolutely.
that's breaking the cycle. You're
Absolutely.
educating the community.
Absolutely.
And we need about 1 million of you
Absolutely.
around here doing the same thing. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? To make a difference.
Absolutely.
You know, I hope it don't take 1 million.
Oh, man.
We need a few.
Oh, man.
We need more than just you. But God, my wife, myself, I'm pretty sure my brothers here, Kenny and Karis, we all appreciate everything that you do and people like you do for the city and for the world.
No
You
doubt.
know what I'm saying? You got any shout outs, brother?
Man, I done shouted out the city of Dallas, man, and everybody.
What about home?
Hey, man, like I say, everything in the boot is already up with us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that ain't nothing, man. And shout out to all the brothers out here grinding, man. Shout out to all the brothers, man, that done lost brothers out here.
That's
Because
real.
Again, man, this thing's so much bigger than entertainment, Bobo.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Entertainment is a cog.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a cog in the bigger machine.
Yeah. It's a travel.
It's a major cog,
It is.
but it's you're right. It's
It's
just
part
small
of
part.
the
Absolutely.
engine,
Absolutely. But
part of the machine.
we actually, even the work in Dallas now, I'm going to tell you this, like even coming out here and doing that, we had an opportunity. My man ended up managing the GS Boys, which gave me the booking rights on them boys. Shout out Prince, Southside, and all them boys.
I really
there,
shout
man.
out, brothers.
Yeah, like I say, we ended up getting B-Hamp. I ended up getting
yeah.
B-Hamp his first record deal with the Ricky Bobby. Shout out Ricky Booker, man.
Ricky
that
Booker,
now
yeah.
owns the Breakfast Brothers.
That's
out
our
here.
brother.
Yeah, that's my big brother, man. So we had an opportunity to work on that. Then we got Louisiana Cash, his deal out here.
I didn't know that about B Hemp.
Yeah, so
Super tight exclusive.
Yeah. So even the work in Dallas, like I say, we had an opportunity for Young Black them, but they didn't have for the Big Boy Stunting record.
Yeah.
But they didn't get the clearance on Gucci. You know what I mean? So that held them up, and we also had an opportunity for Deuce them with the Frankie record through Jive and Battery, but they couldn't get the numbers worked out and make it make sense. But we've had an opportunity to work with a lot of great guys. Mike Mood Swing, shout out Mike Mood Swing over there as well. You know what I mean? So there's been a whole bunch of brothers, man, that's really contributed.
You were an asset to the city.
Man,
You know how some people come in and leech off a city?
yeah,
You come in and were an asset.
absolutely,
Because at the time that you came in, Dallas was right for the plucking
absolutely.
or the fucking.
Oh man, I don't know
Oh my
about that.
gosh.
I don't know
Am I
about
right?
I don't know about the
Bro, it's a lot of people came from
I
out of
don't know
town.
about
you
that
from
either.
Dallas. You
Oh,
say
bro,
that, but
I see a lot. I seen a lot of people
Said,
come
I
through
don't
our
know
city
about the fucking.
and bend these cats over, bro.
yeah.
They been the most. I mean, that's
Hey,
that's figuratively.
say,
You know what I mean?
Say less. But you the OG out here. You can say
Yes,
that.
I can see that. That's right, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, these dudes ain't here for. They're not genuine.
I can dig it.
These guys weren't genuine.
When I got here, I saw the at that time. I think that Dallas was at that point creating their own identity, separating from Houston. They had,
Trying our best.
They at that time they were really recognizing how much they were supporting Houston music and how the lack of support in Houston they were getting. So it was a divide in that moment, an awakening, I would say, in saying, yo, we need to support our own.
That's real.
And that's when, you know what I mean, like I say, a brother Pookie, you know what I mean, working through Ozone, like, man, we really was out here.
Yeah,
like,
I know
we was
it.
really running through all these clubs, man, and like I said, taking photos, I think, through Ozone, that was some of the first exposure.
Shout out Julie Beverly.
Putting in work.
Yeah, and Pookie, man.
Urban South.
Man,
got to give him his play.
They better give Pookie him, man, because Pookie was on the ground.
I got to get Pookie up here, bro.
You better. I'll get him on the phone once we get off this interview so y'all can line that up. That's my man's, and he's a very intricate part of a lot of what was taking place. And he's from Greenville, Mississippi, so
quiet.
Yeah.
Have you met Pookie before, baby? You might have. You gonna love. Is he a gentleman or what?
Man, Pook a real one, man.
You gonna love Pookie.
Yeah, Pook a real one. Pook is definitely a real one, man. So shout out Pook, man, in Urban South. You know what I mean? Like I said, shout out to all the brothers, man, that I had an opportunity to meet. There's been a blessing that's poured into us, man. I also want to shout out Bishop Omar Jawar, man.
Yes, Bishop Omar.
Yeah, Bishop Omar actually introduced me to an entirely different world of how to effectively use our influence to change communities. You know what I mean? And that's something that we worked at very diligently. You know what I mean? And I think, not that I think, Anton Lucky is now
shout out Anton.
is now leading the charge in those endeavors. So I think he's doing a great job.
Shout out our brother,
keeping that going. Absolutely.
Already. Say, man, we sure appreciate you coming.
All right, say less, man.
I mean, this was a blessing.
I appreciate it
because I mean, everybody think they got the answer.
Right.
Like Sway.
Right.
You ain't got the answer, Sway.
You don't have all the answers, G.
You ain't got the answer, Sway.
I swear to God.
But bro, people like you,
I appreciate that.
They came up in that time of the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
Right.
You were able to walk that walk.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it takes that to have that knowledge to pass on to others, or even just be successful yourself, because you've seen both sides of the world.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And we sure appreciate you coming through, bro.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me, man.
I mean, it's just been an honor and a pleasure.
Yes.
Yes. Anytime you got some jewels, anytime you got an event, or anything like that, please include Super Tight TV.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Because we want to be, like I said, that bridge. We want to be the connection. You know what I mean? And whatever it takes to move the needle in the right direction, we really want to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
So I got Uncle Pauly in the house.
Yes, sir.
A real super tight guest.
Know I'ma get some game tuned in with Super Tight. Yeah, I get it all up from Big Bobo, from the front seat, not no photos.